This is a ChinaImportal.com video tutorial. Topic is buying from wholesalers in Asia. 5 things that importers must know. In this video, you will learn why wholesalers may offer lower MOQs than manufacturers, and MOQ stands for minimum order quantity. Second, you will learn why many wholesalers lack export licenses, while why wholesale products in Asia and mainland China are already compliant with US and European Union product regulations. That's a key issue when buying from wholesalers, or labeling requirements for that matter. And you will also learn why you cannot brand or customize a wholesale product or off-shelf product. So this video tutorial is focusing on products that can be ordered off-shelf in stock, basically. Now, a wholesaler may offer a lower MOQ, a lower minimum order quantity, than a manufacturer, and that's the whole appeal with a wholesaler. That's why anyone would ever consider buying from a wholesaler on, say, Taobao.com. Okay, now that's it. That's the benefit. That's the only benefit. So what this means is that, say, you want to get into the apparel industry and you want to buy 10 t-shirts. You don't want to buy 500 t-shirts. Factories, they have higher MOQs. There are different ways to lower that MOQ, as we have also already covered in another video on ChinaImportal.com. But I want to make it clear that this is the reason why anyone would ever consider buying from a wholesaler. And beginners, startup companies, they often assume that, especially in e-commerce, that okay, I should be looking for a wholesaler. And in this tutorial, I want to explain that that's just wrong. That's not how you should go about this. Okay, now many wholesalers, they lack export licenses. This means is that if you try to approach, say, a Chinese a wholesale in mainland China, then very high risk if they lack an export license. That they can get around that legally. They can use an export agent. But there's a bigger reason for this. The reason is that these wholesalers are primarily focusing on the domestic market, and this is a big issue for you wherever you're sitting right now. It's a big issue that they are not primarily focused on exporting. All right, so even though you may purchase from them, even though they are maybe willing to do business with you, they most likely don't have any English-speaking personnel, so communication will be an issue. And when it comes to exporting, you will have to find an export agent to manage your procedures, and that can be a hassle unless you actually go to the country of the wholesaler. But that's quite insignificant when it comes to how problematic things get when we mix in product regulations. And what I'm referring to is safety regulations. Say REACH, California Proposition 65, CPSIA, and so on. Regulations that limit substances, chemicals, heavy metals, or say electro safety regulations. Now, wholesale products are rarely, if ever, compliant with American, European, or other overseas product regulations. And say you're sitting in Singapore right now, for example, you need to ensure compliance with European Union regulations. It's modeled on European regulations. A similar situation in many countries, say in South America, of course, many modeled on the United States, and I think Australia and New Zealand also based on European Union regulations for the most part. So this is a serious issue, and there's a reason for this though. Why should, say, a Taobao seller in China, why should they bother invest thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to make sure that their products are compliant with regulations in a market that they don't even sell to? Now the issue is that when you go to them and say, okay, hey, I want to buy 50 t-shirts, I want to buy 100 sweaters and some shoes, and some cosmetics, let's throw in that, and take a few of those iPhone chargers too while we're at it. The issue is that they don't know anything about regulations in your market, and it's not their responsibility to keep track of safety regulations and so on in every country and state in the world. It's not realistic. They're just traders, and domestic traders at that. So this means that buying wholesale is especially in sensitive categories like electronics, like children's products, is a no-go. it's been a few serious, like very, very extreme cases. I was dealing with a toy importer a couple of years back. That must have been 4 years ago or something. And they called me up and said that, okay, we need help with shipping. I didn't hear from them for about 1 month, and then the next month they called me up again and said, hey, we got a slight issue. We've been buying from this toy wholesaler down in Shantou in very close to Hong Kong in China, and it turned out that now the European Union is stepping up the enforcement of children's products compliance checks at the customs, and they checked their goods, and the buyers simply didn't have any compliance documents. And they said, okay, they told the authorities, the customs, that, well, we're not the manufacturer, so you should just contact the supplier in China. And they just said that that's a foreign supplier. We, as an importer, you are responsible for ensuring compliance, and the entire stock was destroyed. I never heard back from them since. They're probably bankrupt by now. Don't be like them. Don't be that stupid. Don't make assumptions about product safety. Now, okay, when it comes to apparel, it's not as strictly regulated, and you may actually take, say, a t-shirt sold on Taobao. Taobao.com is a huge Chinese e-commerce site, by the way, owned by Alibaba. It's a great site, but you can actually buy, say, a shirt from there, and you can get it compliance tested. And we also have cases where those tests actually pass. So it's not that everything that's sold on these websites or sold by wholesalers toxic and unsafe. It's not that clear cut. It's not black or white. It's not like that. But you will face another issue. Okay, let's stay with textiles. Let's stay with a product that's not as dangerous, if I can use that word. And the issue is labeling requirements. This t-shirt, if I want to sell this t-shirt in the US, I need to have an English language label, fiber composition, proper care labels, ASTM care labels. Like, I can't even use whatever care labels I want. It must comply with specific ASTM care labels. You can Google that if you want to learn more about it. And did I say fiber composition? Oh, I think I did. And you have a variety of requirements that are very specific. Oh yeah, made in China too. They don't label things as made in China, because that's not a requirement. It's actually not even a requirement in the European Union. So you see, you have very different regulations with different labeling requirements for different products, different markets. And what's sold by wholesalers in Asia, in mainland China, is specifically for the domestic market. They have no reason to make the label comply with foreign regulations. You may relabel a product, but it is complicated. It's a lot of work. It's so much work that you might just go to a factory in China instead and get, say, 200 or 300 pieces made. There are ways to lower the MOQ. Okay, number 5. You can't brand or customize a wholesale product. And that's the good thing about production in Asia, that you can actually get a product branded, customized, cheaply. And with relative ease, if you do your homework and you understand how to draft a spec sheet. You buy a wholesale product, you can't do any of that. You end up, you just trade a commodity. You trade a commodity, and as a startup, as a small business, there's no way to make it by competing on price, by trading a commodity that another 2 million sellers already been selling for the last decade or so. Now, if you want to learn how to import basically any product from Asia, you can go here to ChinaImport.com/ebook, and yeah, it's completely free. In this ebook, you will learn how to import and launch almost any product using a 4-step process, and how to identify qualified suppliers on Alibaba and global sources. You will also learn how to import private labeling products and protect your IP, and the best methods for shipping and customs in the United States, European Union, and other markets. So there's no reason to hesitate. Go here to this URL, ChinaImport.com/ebook, and get it right away. It's delivered by email within a couple of minutes.